In this lesson, we're going to take a look at animation and motion retargeting in 3ds Max 8. We'll start by opening up the file animation_start.max, and we'll take a look at the animation in this file. You see we have a character with some slight movement, a wave, and a little wiggle. We're going to transfer part of this animation to the character with a slightly different size. If you click on the Layers dialog, you can unhide the layer called Gnome Rig. This layer has a very small character, which is the gnome character we've been working with. What we're going to do is take part of the animation from the big character and transform it onto the small character. In this case, we're going to use the arm animation only. So we're going to take all of the animation on the arm chain and transform it onto the small character in the middle. With motion retargeting, it takes into account the different size of the chain with respect to the other to scale the animation. Once the old chain is selected, all we have to do is save out the animation. So we'll go to File, Save Animation, and that's already been done, and we're going to load that file onto the arm. So the first thing we'll do is select everything that's part of the arm, including the dummy objects and all of the objects in the hand, and we'll go to File, Load Animation. From here, we're going to load the animation called BigRig_arm animation. Click on Load Motion, and it asks you to create a map file. We'll say yes here, and this will bring up our map animation dialog. First thing we're going to map is our arm control, and for the arm control, we're going to map the expose world transform of each, and just hit this left pointing arrow, and we're going to map it from B onto the gnome. The important part is in retargeting, so we'll look into this rollout, and you'll see that the gnome arm control is getting mapped from the B rig. We want to set up the scale factor for these arms. We're going to adjust the incoming and the current chain. To set these, we're going to go down into the scale origin, which is going to be the origin of the root of the arm, and we'll just pick the incoming and the current. So the incoming is going to be the upper arm of our B rig, so we'll just pick up the upper arm of that. Then there is a button for current, which we'll press. We'll select the upper arm of the gnome. Now we have both upper arms selected as the scale origin, and we can go over to the incoming chain settings. Here we want to set the start and end of the incoming chain. We're going to pick the same bone for the root, and for the end we'll choose the wrist controller. Now we'll move on to the current chains. For the current chain, we'll use the same as the scale origin for the start, which is going to be the upper arm. We'll choose the wrist control for its end. Now the map dialog can decide the resulting scale factor, and we're getting 0.138, and that's how much the original animation will be scaled so that it fits the size of the smaller rig. Now we can select that and say set, and you can see that the incoming and current chain start and ends are both set. We can go down and just say save the map, save it as any name you would like. Now we can load the motion. And as you can see, the character waves the exact same wave that was on the larger rig. This is how we remap motion from one rig to another and change scale and form.